So hi guys, I am going to do a not so much requested video today, but this was something that was asked after I posted a haul on my Facebook business page. If you don't know what that is, I'll put a link to it below. Anyway, I posted a haul that I had gotten some stuff from Sookraj, moisturizers, different things like that, and I had a person comment on finding skincare for dry skin, because I think really and truly when I sat there and I thought about it, I realized that not a lot of people talk about dry skin products for our climate. So I thought it would make a really interesting video, and hopefully there are a lot of other people out there like me and this person on my page, and hopefully you find this interesting. So what I'm going to talk about is things that I have used for me personally. I do have quite a lot of sort of high-end, it's not a good mix, but I do have low-end or drugstore products that I can recommend, which would be comparable to these products that I am using. And these are just the products that work for me. Of course, you will have to sort of go through the gamut like I had to do, which is try and see which brand agrees with you. But generally, I think if you follow the basic guidelines which I'm going to give you, you should pretty much come to a good understanding of what type of products you have to look for rather than the brand. So the first things first, I think, is the first thing that everybody uses, which is face wash. I always use Cetaphil. I don't have it with me because I actually was supposed to go get it a little bit later, either today or tomorrow, because mine is completely out. I have been using Cetaphil for years and years. I have had a dermatologist prescribe Cetaphil for me, paid $500 to have Cetaphil written on a prescription pad. So save your $500, go get it. Regardless of what skin type you are, the doctors will recommend that as your first line of defense. It is a product that contains a little bit of glycerin, but it's very natural, and it does not make you oily. It is a gel cleanser, but it doesn't also dry you out, right? And for dry skin, I find that it works really well. It doesn't dry me out. It doesn't leave me very tight, which a lot of moisturizers can do, not moisturizers, face washes can do, particularly the gel wash ones. If you are not a fan of the Cetaphil, what I tend to tell people with very dry skin is to look for cream washes. Anything that's a creamy type of product will leave a little bit of added moisture on your skin, so you want to look for something that's a creamy wash. My other favorite one that's a creamy wash is I think it's one by Neutrogena, and there's another one that's by Olay. I will try to get the pictures of the products that I'm talking about and maybe just sort of insert it either along the side here, or maybe put some links in the description box below to their photos. But anyhow, yeah, so that is what I would typically use. My Cetaphil in the morning as I get up, wash my face, that's it. I do use a scrubbing brush, and this is from Olay. It's their Pro X line. I don't have it now. It's in my bathroom, but you guys have seen me talk about that before in a previous video. So yeah, I use that only when I wear makeup, or if my skin has gotten very dull or very dry and flaky. And contrary to popular belief, a lot of people tend to think that you cannot use things like scrubs and things like those brushes when you have dry skin. You want to be careful. Yes, you do want to err on the edge of cautious, but at the same time, your skin is dry because it's looking flaky and it's looking patchy, and then the bits and pieces get caught in foundation and all sorts of stuff like that. So I think a little bit of exfoliation does go a long way, and I prefer to use a brush, like a facial brush or a facial sponge, rather than to use a scrub that has a lot of very harsh particles in it. So that's my take on exfoliation, and it does help with dry skin. It does help you to kind of help get that glow back, because what it does is it takes away that dry, dull, patchy, ashy looking skin, and it makes your skin underneath come through, and that just looks healthy, and it just has a gorgeous glow. So that's typically what I would do. I do use another cleanser, but it's a gel cleanser that I use, and it's specifically for when I wear makeup. So I'm not even going to show that because it's not actually for dry skin, but I use it because it really works well in taking off makeup. And I think my video, a couple videos from now, if not the one that's after this one, I am going to do a take it off with me video. So all of this, you're going to see me take it off live on camera. Right, so back to the skincare. Now, when I do makeup, I normally start with I always start with a moisturizer. If it's during the day, I would use this one, which is MAC Studio Moisture Cream. Now, this is just a little sample size. I know they have this in the big pump. It is a pretty heavy moisturizer. Heavy in the sense of it's very emollient. So if you're somebody with oily skin, this is a no-no. But for dry skin, I find that it is very rich, but it also absorbs really well, because I have this problem where even though I'm very dry and my skin is always tight, I find that I sweat a lot. So because of that, if I wear super greasy products on the skin during the day, especially with the humidity that we have here, my makeup or my skin will tend to look as though it's very shiny and very oily. So because of that, I have to avoid things that just sit on the skin as opposed to things that are being absorbed. And I find this to be really great. I love this one, and I would usually do that before my foundation. I would apply this as soon as I get out of the shower and I get into my room. I apply this so that it has time to absorb and set. And then the other thing I do, now this is not always, sometimes I switch it up and I just don't use a primer, but if I'm going to do a full face of makeup like what I have on today, I do use a primer, and this is the MAC's Prep and Prime and in Natural Radiance. It's sort of a yellowy, it's the yellowy one. I know they have a couple different colors, but this one is the yellow toned one. Again, yellow sort of perks up sallow looking skin or gray looking skin, so it's really good if you have particularly ashy looking dry skin. And this also has like little light reflectors, so it does give your skin a little bit of dewy sort of glossiness without looking shiny. This is what I absolutely love about this. As I said, I don't tend to use a primer every single time I wear my makeup, because let's face it, I'm very low maintenance when it comes to makeup application. I will only wear a full face of makeup if I am, number one, going to somebody's wedding and I have to stay there for the entire day and do touch-ups and whatever. Number two, if I do work with Revlon Trinidad, if I have to be at an event with them, I can't be looking drag up in the people place, so I have to look as though I am a makeup artist. Or number three, the only time that I ever wear makeup, this much makeup, is when I'm on camera with you guys. So yeah, that's typically the only time. Or if I have randomly, I have some sort of big event to go to. I have no life. All I do is work and go to the movies. So literally, yeah, no, I very rarely do I use this. Anyways, right, and then the foundation, just in case, again, this is going to vary by the person depending on what you know, what your preference is for foundation. For dry skin, I love this foundation, and this is the Clinique Even Better Spot Correcting Foundation. Now, it's a spot corrector, so there is a little bit of serum in here, but to be honest with you, I've never really noticed or paid attention to the whole spot correcting aspect of this foundation. I've never really noticed anything. But what I love about it is how well it goes on. It looks like skin, and because I believe it contains a little bit of that serum in there, I think it just glides onto the skin and it doesn't cling to dry patches. It doesn't look patchy, or it's not super emollient to the point that it's slipping around or settling into fine lines, which dry skin tends to have a lot of. I just really like this. It's about a medium coverage and it can be built. The only thing with this though is that if you combination to dry, you do have to set certain areas where you will tend to crease or get oily. You do have to set it with a powder, just to prevent anything from moving around, because it's not one of those long wear foundations, so it just kind of sits atop of the skin and just looks gorgeous all day. I typically wear this foundation when I know I'm going out at night time, when it's not going to be humid during the day and I'm not going to be sweating. And if I'm going to an event where I don't have a lot of moving around to do, or an event that's particularly going to be air conditioned, that's when I tend to use that foundation. But it's gorgeous. An alternative to this, a drugstore alternative to this, which I also use as well too, is the Lumi by Maybelline, L'Oreal. The L'Oreal Lumi foundation, that's another favorite of mine. I just can't seem to get my shade properly. I think I'm actually going to have to buy a darker bottle and then mix it into the sun beige that I do have. Yeah, but that is almost the same sort of consistency as this bad boy here. So if you have, if you're on the market for like a dewy, sort of soft foundation, I would definitely suggest checking out the L'Oreal Lumi. So now once I'm done with my foundation, I usually set my foundation with Ben Nye's Neutral Set Powder. I find that it's a very, very slippery, very smooth, very finely milled powder. If I use a lot of compact powders, I find that it tends to settle in like all the little creases, and I tend to get little patches right along the edge of my lips and like on my nose and underneath my eyes. So I have to use something that's a loose setting powder, and I find that the neutral set is colorless, it does the job, and it just sets everything right in place, so I don't have a lot of creasing, and it's not heavy. That's what I like about it. It still allows your skin to shine through, but it takes care of anything moving around the place where you don't want it to be. But I always use a setting spray. Now I do have the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I use that only if I'm going out during the day, and let's say if I'm going to a wedding where I'm going to be in no air condition and I know that I'm going to have to be hauling things around and moving here and moving there and it's going to be really hot, I do use that setting spray. However, every other situation I tend to use this, and this is the MAC Mineralized Charged Water Skin Hydrating Mist. Much lighter, and it's not as, to me it doesn't seem as heavy as Fix Plus, if that makes any sense. Now this is supposed to be supposedly more hydrating than Fix Plus, but to me this feels more lighter. It just sets the face, and it doesn't give you like that overly glowy, almost shiny looking appearance that Fix Plus tends to give you after a period of time. And I also do not see any sort of product breakdown with this products. For nighttime, I've recently been using this. I bought this online at Sephora. This is Clinique's Repair Wear Intensive Night Cream, very dry skin formula. And let me tell you something, oh my god, my skin loves this. It is a pricey product, but I think that my skin doesn't know that I'm poor. This is the thing about it. I think my skin just thinks that I'm rich and I can afford this shit. I use this. I've been using this for more than, let's say, about a week. By the time this video goes up, it'll probably be a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. And I love this stuff. It is obviously a nighttime cream. However, I have worn this underneath my makeup at night, and I find that it absorbs immediately. Even though it's a cream, it absorbs almost immediately. It doesn't have that sort of sticky, clammy, gooey feeling on the face, which I absolutely hate. I'm not a sticky texture kind of person, so that does not appeal to me. I love this. It is thick and it is rich, and a little bit goes a long way. So even though it is a pricey product, I think it will last you for a very long time. Now this is also a recent purchase. Now this is just a little trial size. This is the Tarte Maracuja oil. I've been trying this out again, same time, the same shipment that I got this one and I got this bad boy in. And usually this is just a little side note. This is what I do because my skin is so finicky, it's dry and it's sensitive. Try to get little sample sizes of skin products in particular to determine whether or not my skin is going to do okay with it, and if it is, when this runs out, I am going to just purchase a full size. So again, do a little bit of research on your oils and see what works for you and what does not work for you. That I use this is you have to have your face slightly damp. You cannot just go in on a dry face and start applying this, it will never absorb. So I usually apply this as soon as I come out of the bath. If I use my oil one night, I may not use the night cream. So I kind of switch back and forth. Sometimes if I'm at home during the day and I've washed my face, I usually will apply this on during the day. Once I'm not heading out into the sun, I would put this on and leave this on for the entire day. This oil is nice and light, it's not heavy at all. I would dampen my face if I'm out of the shower. Of course, it's already going to be dampened. But other than that, I would just take a little bit of water, just sort of pat it on my face with clean hands, and just take a little bit of this, and you don't need very much. It's just literally like a few drops, and I warm it up between my hands, and then I just sort of press it into the areas, particularly paying attention to where it gets sort of dry and craggy. A good drugstore alternative to this charged water is actually just rose water. What you can do is purchase rose water that has glycerin already mixed in. Buy a bottle of it's Evian, I think Superfarm sells that. Evian or any sort of mineralized spring water. Get an empty spray bottle, pour a little bit of the rose water with glycerin, pour in a little bit of the Evian, shake it up, and use that to mist your face. It works almost the exact same way. But if you're like me and you're lazy, you could just get this, because this tends to last me a very long time. A good alternative to the Prep and Prime would be the L'Oreal. I think they have a Lumi primer as well too. You can check Pennywise, you can check Superfarm for that. Right, and a good alternative to this repair cream, if you're looking for a drugstore version of this, Olay actually has it's specifically called Nighttime Repair Cream. It's in a purple box, and it's a very thick lotion. It has almost the same consistency to this, but my skin does not like Olay. So, and of course, for the maracuja oil, or a good substitute for this, I love. It's the L'Oreal, the Age Perfect. They have a glowing oil. Oh my god, I finished an entire bottle of that. That's actually what got me turned on to using oil. I think I prefer it to every other oil that I've ever tried before, and I'm thinking that after this is finished, I'm probably going back to get that one. Right, and then the last product that I have is for lips. Now, I have very dry lips. I don't know if it's a common thing with everybody who has dry skin, like you would tend to get dry lips and dry skin at the same time. Probably because I talk too much. But yes, I have recently tried this. I heard a lot of buzz about this online. I saw a couple of people use it in videos and whatever, but this is the rosebud salve, and all this thing is just petroleum, cottonseed oil, trade secret perfume premix. That is it. There is nothing else inside of here, but let me tell you something, and it's not that expensive. It's actually just $6 US. I think I paid for the entire tin, and it is like a little lip, like a Vicks thin. And let me tell you, you do not need a lot of this product. It is amazing. It is the best lip product ever for dry skin, and I stress that ever. And I've been looking high and low, and I have tons of different products, but by far this has blown them out of the water. I don't know if it's the cottonseed oil. I have no idea what is in this thing, but I don't care because it works. And again, some nice alternatives to that, and I do use these in between. It just depends on whichever one my hands grab on. The only bad thing about this rosebud salve is a tin, and you do have to kind of use your fingers and get it out there. You can use a lip brush, but hey, I'm too lazy to do that, so they do have one that's in a tube, and now I'm regretting that I didn't get it. For a good drugstore, actually I have two drugstore alternatives to this. One is Carmex, and this has been my ride or die for a very long time. It still is. I actually used it underneath my lip products today. And I got this from, I think it's Makeup Haven. I will put the link down below in the description box. And I think it's very cheap. It's actually like $15. It's actually cheaper than the other one that I have. And this one is the Baby Lips Dr. Rescue. Now this one is a little bit tinted. Just a very slight tint. Nothing very light hint of color. So when I want moisturizing with a little hint of color, typically I would tend to go for this one. If I'm using it under a lipstick, I would use one of these. So yes, this is the Baby Lips Dr. Rescue, and I think this is in the color Soothing Sorbet. So that is basically my roundup of all of my products. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments about anything that I've shown today, please let me know. Once again, all of the things that I spoke about will be in the description box. If not in the video around me while I'm speaking, I will try to put up product pictures. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share it on your Google Plus, on your Facebook page, and with any friends that you think would benefit from watching this video. Thank you so much.